Have you ever asked yourself, what truly makes someone trustworthy? It's not reputation, it's not communication skills. It's something much deeper, something more durable. I have worked with so many people. Entrepreneurs, office workers, people stuck in career crises, and even those who feel completely lost in their relationships. And what I see in all of them is one shared question. How do I become someone others can rely on? There was a woman who once came to me. She worked in the creative field. She said, I have talent, I have ideas, I work hard, but no one ever trusts me with important tasks. I feel like they don't believe in me. I looked at her and asked, when you say you'll do something, do you actually follow through? She went silent. Her eyes drifted downward as if she had just confronted something she'd been avoiding for a long time. Trust, you see, it isn't something we demand from others. It's something we build little by little through the choices we make every single day. As someone who has practiced Stoic philosophy for many years, I deeply believe what the ancient Stoics taught. People aren't respected because of what they say, but because of how they live. And in today's world, where everyone is busy, distracted, and relationships feel more fragile than ever, being a trustworthy person is one of the most valuable traits you can have. It's like walking into a room and people instantly breathe easier. Good, you're here, I can relax now. Let me paint a picture for you. You have two co-workers. One talks a lot, big energy, big promises, but rarely follows through. The other one is quieter, calmer, maybe not flashy, but when they say, I'll take care of it, you know without a doubt the job will be done. Who do you trust, and more importantly, which one do you want to be? Trust isn't magic. We're not born with it. It comes from consistency, your character showing up in the little things that no one pays attention to, yet everyone feels. A friend of mine in New York once told me, you know what's worse than being betrayed? Realizing you weren't living in a way that others could trust you. That sentence stayed with me for years because it hits a painful but beautiful truth. Trust begins within ourselves. In Stoicism, we have something called inner virtue. It means you don't live to impress the world, you live according to what you believe is right. And from that righteousness, trust slowly grows, not overnight, but steadily, quietly. So when you ask, how do I become a trustworthy person? My answer is not. Change yourself to be liked. I don't believe in bending to people's expectations. I believe in this. Live according to what is right and the right people will stay. And in today's video, I want to walk you through 9 practical Stoic-inspired ways to build real trust with coworkers, friends, and anyone around you. Not through tricks, not through charm, but through how you live when no one is watching, and how you respect others simply because it's the right thing to do. Maybe you're thinking, trust is such a big thing, I'm not sure I can do it. But don't worry, none of us started life perfectly. What matters is realizing this. Trust isn't built through force, it's built through truth. We'll begin with the smallest things, your words, your actions, how you hold yourself, how you manage your impulses, how you treat people with honesty and fairness. And slowly, day by day, you'll notice something changing. People will look at you differently. Opportunities will show up. Better relationships will form around you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're trustworthy. So let's dive in. A simple journey, gentle, quiet, yet powerful enough to change the way you connect with the world. Let's start. Now, the first Stoic principle. I want you to listen not just with your mind, but with your whole being. Each of these principles won't just change how others see you, they'll change how you see yourself. Way 1. Keep your promises, even the small ones. One of the first things the Stoics emphasized was integrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "If you speak, speak truthfully. If you act, act faithfully." but I know in modern life we tend to underestimate small promises. I'll do it tomorrow. It's just one time, they'll understand. It's not a big deal. But here's the interesting part. Those small things are the bricks that build your reputation. I once worked with a man in San Francisco, brilliant guy, ambitious, full of potential, but he loved making promises more than keeping them. One day he came to me and said, "Why do they keep passing me over for big projects? I'm qualified." And I asked, "Did you keep every small promise this week? The emails you said you'd answer, the meeting you said you'd schedule, the report you said you'd turn in on time?" He went silent. The same silence I heard from the woman earlier. The silence of someone finally seeing the truth. Keeping your word isn't heroic, it's a habit, a discipline, a form of self-respect before it becomes respect from others. Try this next week. Whenever you say "I'll do it," treat it like an oath. Don't announce it loudly. Just do it. You'll be surprised how fast people start trusting you more. Way 2. Don't speak badly behind someone's back. Your words reveal who you are. Let me tell you a quick story. One day a young employee told me, "I don't understand why my team never opens up to me. They feel distant." I asked him, "How do you talk about them when they're not in the room?" He lowered his head, then admitted softly, "Sometimes I vent. I say negative things. I thought it was harmless." In Stoicism, there's a powerful principle. Don't do anything you would be ashamed of. If it became public, speaking behind someone's back is one of those things. Stoics don't avoid gossip because they fear consequences. They avoid it because they value integrity, compassion, and respect. And here's the truth. People always sense how you treat them, even when they don't hear the actual words. After years of working with teams, I've learned something. People who gossip are rarely trusted, but those who never speak ill of anyone are respected by everyone. So if you want to become trustworthy, be the person others feel safe with, even in their absence. Way 3. Act consistently. Don't be sunny today, stormy tomorrow. Have you ever met someone who's cheerful and enthusiastic today, but cold and distant tomorrow? Someone who's fully committed this week, then disappears the next, or someone who talks beautifully in meetings, but their actions tell a completely different story. Inconsistency is like standing on sinking sand. You never know when the ground will collapse. Stoics believe this: a steady mind creates a steady life, and a steady person becomes a trustworthy person. I once worked with a head of HR who told me something unforgettable. The thing I value most in an employee isn't talent or IQ, it's consistency, because I can rely on consistent people. I don't have to guess, I don't have to worry, and I don't have to check on them every few hours. If you want your coworkers to trust you, let them feel that you're someone stable, that's so emotionally and professionally. No matter what's happening in your life, you still show up with integrity, you still do your work, you still carry yourself with professionalism. Consistency is not perfection, consistency is maturity. Way 4. Take responsibility. Stop blaming others. I remember a young manager coming to me once. He was struggling with his team and said, "Whenever a project is delayed, they blame me, but honestly, it's my team's fault, not mine." I looked at him and asked, "If a ship goes off course, what does the captain say?" He went silent, because this isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about attitude. In Stoic philosophy, there's a principle called personal responsibility. You can't control everything in life, but you can always control how you respond. A trustworthy person says, "I take responsibility for my part." No blaming, no excuses, no running away. And here's the surprising thing. When you take responsibility, people immediately see you differently. They realize, when something goes wrong, you don't hide. You step forward. That alone builds profound trust. Way 5. Keep confidentiality. Know what to say and what to stay silent about. Let me ask you this. Have you ever shared something personal with someone, and a few days later you heard it being repeated somewhere else? That feeling, that sting of betrayal, is enough to make you never open up to that person again. Keeping someone's secret isn't about being mysterious or closed off. It's about respect. Respecting the fact that someone chose you to trust. I once coached a creative team where one woman was incredibly friendly, outgoing and well-liked. But she had a habit of sharing every story she heard, not because she meant harm. She simply thought she was being open. But that openness was misplaced, and slowly, people began to pull away from her. They laughed with her, talked with her, but they never trusted her again. In Stoicism, there's a beautiful principle: be a safe place for others. If someone gives you their worries, their stories, or their secrets, protect them as if you're holding a piece of their heart. And trust me, when you become the person others can confide in without fear, you become one of the most valuable people in any group or community. We've now covered the first 5 principles, the foundation of trust. Now let's move on to the final 4. These aren't just nice behaviors, they're the core qualities of a mature, steady, stoic individual. Let's continue our journey. Way 6. Avoid exaggeration. Say it straight, say it true. Let me tell you a short story I witnessed years ago. A former co-worker of mine was incredibly enthusiastic. He always wanted to impress everyone, especially with his words. Whenever he presented a project, he'd use phrases like guaranteed success, 100% foolproof, no risks at all. But in reality, no project is ever that perfect. And slowly, people stopped believing him, not because he outright lied, but because he exaggerated. And exaggeration is just another form of bending the truth. And bending the truth destroys trust. Stoicism teaches us that honesty isn't just telling the truth, it's not decorating it. No extra flavor, no dramatic flair, no sugarcoating, no minimizing responsibility. A trustworthy person describes things exactly as they are, and in today's world, where social media encourages us to embellish our lives, and where everyone wants to sound more impressive than they are, simple honesty becomes rare and incredibly valuable. If you want to be trusted, let the truth speak for itself. I once asked a client, "Why do you trust your business partner so much?" He said, "Because he never exaggerates. If something's wrong, he says it. If something's good, he says that too. I can trust every word he speaks." So if you want deep trust, strip the makeup off your words, let them be clean, plain and real. That simplicity builds lifelong relationships. Way 7. Be fair, don't show favoritism. Fairness isn't easy, especially in daily life, where we unconsciously favor people we like, or those who benefit us, or those who feel familiar. But favoritism is one of the fastest ways to break trust. I once consulted for a large company in Chicago. Their team leader was very talented, brilliant even. But he clearly favored a few close employees. Everyone else felt overlooked, even though they worked just as hard. Eventually, the entire team stopped trusting him. Not because he lacked skill, but because he lacked fairness. In Stoic philosophy, fairness, justice, is a core virtue. Seneca wrote, "No virtue stands firm without justice." So what is fairness? Treating everyone according to principles, not emotions, judging based on actions, not impressions, praising the right person, correcting the right mistake, no favoritism, no bias. Fairness makes people feel respected, and feeling respected is the root of trust. Remember this, if you treat everyone by the same standard, you will never lose their trust. Way 8. Control your emotions. Don't let anger decide your actions. If there's one Stoic quality I wish everyone in the world would learn, it's this: emotional control. I've met incredibly smart, talented, capable people who lose everything because they can't control their reactions. Some get angry over a single mistake in an email. Some feel attacked by the smallest feedback. Some ruin relationships over tiny disagreements. Emotions are natural, but letting emotions control your actions, that's immaturity. And immature people are not trusted. Stoics are not emotionless. They feel anger, sadness, disappointment, but they don't act on impulse. They let reason guide them. They pause, they breathe, they observe the emotion like a passing gust of wind, and they choose not to be swept away. I once worked with a young CEO, brilliant visionary, but hot-tempered. He constantly lost good employees because of poorly controlled outbursts. One day he asked me, why aren't people loyal to me? Why don't they trust me? I told him, no one trusts someone who can explode at any moment. When you lack emotional control, you become a ticking time bomb, and everyone around you stays on high alert. But when you're calm, steady, and centered, people feel safe around you, and that sense of safety is the strongest foundation of trust. 9. Give more than you take. Practicing unconditional kindness, and finally, and the most important principle of all. It's the one that every Stoic philosopher from Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius to Seneca kept repeating. Be kind without expecting anything in return. A truly trustworthy person is someone who's willing to help, support, listen, and guide. Not because they want others to owe them, not because they're chasing recognition or praise, not because they're trying to build some kind of social credit. They do it simply because that's who they are. It's their inner value system. I want you to remember this. Genuine kindness is always felt, and it always comes back in one form or another. I once met an older man who had already retired, but everyone at his former company still deeply respected him. I asked him, what's your secret? Why does everyone trust and love you so much? He smiled and said, I just tried to help others before thinking about myself, that's all. And you know what's strange but beautiful? The people who give the most often receive the most. Not because they're expecting a reward, as it could do, but because life has a way of returning what you put out to the right people. In today's workplace, where everyone is busy, chasing success, and afraid of being taken advantage of, a person who genuinely knows how to give is a rare light. Unconditional kindness makes you stand out. It makes you the kind of person others want to trust, not someone they're told to trust. So now, we've walked through all 9 principles of trust. They sound simple, but the truth is, it's the simple things that are hardest to practice consistently. Believe me, when you live honestly, stay consistent, keep your word, stay calm, act fairly, and lead with kindness, you don't just become trustworthy in the eyes of others, you become someone you're proud to be. And now, we've reached the end of this journey together. 9 principles to help you become a truly trustworthy person. If you remember, at the very beginning I said, trust is not something you can demand from others. Trust is something you build through choices, actions, and the way you grow up on the inside day after day. When you keep your promises, people feel safe around you. When you refuse to gossip, they feel protected. When you're consistent, they know they can rely on you. When you own your mistakes, they see your strength. When you keep their secrets, they open their hearts to you. When you tell the truth, they respect you. When you're fair, they believe in your integrity. When you control your emotions, they trust your maturity. And when you're kind, they trust your heart. That is the kind of person Stoic philosophy wants us to become. Not a perfect person, but a steady, trustworthy, and genuinely valuable human being. I want you to take a moment and look at yourself honestly. Among these 9 principles, which ones are you already living well? Which ones do you need to work on more? There's no rush. You don't need to pressure yourself into changing overnight. Stoicism doesn't ask you to transform in a day, it only asks you to get a little better, step by step. Remember this, every time you choose to act in the right way, even in the smallest situation, you are laying another brick in the house of your own trustworthiness. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize you've become someone different, calmer, more grounded, and far more respected. And if today's message spoke to you in some way, if you feel a pull to become better, stronger, more mature, or if you want to dive deeper into how the ancient Stoics found inner strength, peace, and meaning in life, then I want to invite you to continue this journey with me. This is Stoic Awakening More, a channel where we awaken wisdom, train the mind, and become the most grounded version of ourselves. If you found this video helpful, hit like so YouTube can show it to more people. Hit subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos on Stoicism and personal growth. Share this video with someone you think might need a bit of peace, clarity, or a new perspective in life right now. And finally, leave a comment. Tell me, among these 9 principles, which one made you think the most? Which one will you start practicing this week? I read every single comment and I truly value the chance to connect with you. Thank you for spending your time here. Thank you for choosing to walk this path with me. I'll see you in the next video on Stoic Awakening More, where every day we slow down a little, go deeper a little, and grow stronger. A lot. See you soon.